If you want to know 8 Lightroom tips that are going to change you. If you want to know 8 Lightroom tips that are going to... What is this actually? 8 Lightroom tips and tricks that are going to change up your editing to a whole nother level. Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it after this introduction. What's up YouTube fam, my name is Pasconomis and welcome to my first video channel tutorial.
I have to restart my potatoes. Oh.
What's up YouTube fam, my name is Pasconomis and welcome to this channel. We're gonna have a tutorial today, my dudes. I'm a content creator from Würzburg in Germany, and for the past few years, you know, I've been creating a lot of content. I've been working with the biggest DJs, the biggest brands, hotels, you name it. I mean, that's what we do as content creators, am I right? And I really got in contact with lots of people in this industry. And what I've learned from that point on is that people, they probably know how to use their programs, but they still are not aware about few shortcuts or few hidden features yet. So yeah, I'm trying to provide some value here, you know?
Like, dude, come on. Like, I mean, yeah, you want to provide some value, but I'm a content creator. Dude, you're fucking out of focus, like, all the time. You could do better, man.
If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that here down below somewhere here, and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. It's gonna be every Friday from now on. I'm gonna post English as well as German tutorials here, so you know, I got you covered. And for this first tutorial, I'm going to show you guys 7 Lightroom tips and tricks that are going to help you out with your editing. And I would say, my dudes, let's get it started. Alright guys, so we're in Lightroom right now, and the first tool I'm going to show you guys is the crop overlay tool. You can simply use R to open it up, and the first thing you're going to notice is that we have our rule of thirds here. And if you press O on your keyboard, you're gonna have different composition types here. Whether it is a division by 2 here, so you can pretty much line up the sun right here in the middle, or if it's something like this where you can have different subjects, or something like this, or even the golden ratio. So you have different composition types right here. Most of you guys are going to stick with the rule of thirds, but for example, if you want to line up the sun right now, this tool could be pretty helpful. And the next one is, if you want to change your composition from a landscape one to a vertical one, you simply have to press X on your keyboard, and boom, you can switch it up pretty fast actually. It's always important to look at your photos without having any kind of disturbing elements to it.
Water.
And that's why you can press L once to darken up every panel you actually have in Lightroom, and if you press it twice, everything's going to go black. So you really have a good option to view your image individually without any disturbing objects around you. And if you press L again to reset that bit, and if you want to pay respect, my dudes, you gotta press F, and you're going to go into full screen mode as well. So yeah, pretty useful tool in my opinion, so you can watch what you got pretty much individually. The third tip I want to show to you right now is the so-called range slider. So this one is pretty useful if you want to change the hue, saturation or luminance of different parts of the image. And if you don't know what kind of color this here is, you can simply hover over to this tool right here, and this is something called the range slider. And if you go over specific parts of the image and click on it, you can change the hue. And what you will see is if I go up or down with my mouse, it will change the values in proportion to the amount we have in our picture. You can even change the hue of our skin as well. Same goes with the saturation of our skin. We can make it pretty desaturated if you wanna, but we can also crank that bitch up a little bit. Maybe not too much, of course. Let's leave it maybe like something like this here. Alright, and if you hover over to the luminance side, you can hover over your skin and change the luminance of your skin. Maybe if you can't afford getting a tan right now, or if you wanna be the whitest white of them all. I think Michael Jackson would have loved to know this trick right here. Yes. So the fourth one is pretty similar to the second one, but I think a lot of you guys have it in default mode, so I'm gonna show you something. Come over to my van, step brother. So if you hover over the background color here and do a right click, you can change the background color of your working space right here to a, for example, to a dark gray, to black, or even to white. So you definitely have a better option to view your image.
Damn, how you gonna keep it up? What you
If you guys don't have any idea on how to get it started,
Let's get it started in here.
if you guys don't have any idea on how you should start editing your photo, you can hover over here to the auto section and press on it, and Lightroom will make base adjustments on which you then can start your editing process. And of course, most of the time you will have to change some things up, maybe pull down the exposure a little bit, or bring back some whites or highlights here, pull the shadows down a little bit maybe. But if you're just starting out in Lightroom and don't know what to do in the first place, it's definitely something that I could recommend to you. Well, this one is pretty interesting actually, because you can speed up your workflow like immensely. This one especially is good if you're editing batches of images. Normally, if you change one of your images up, for example, if we put the exposure down a little bit, you will have to go to develop settings, copy settings, copy it, hover over to the images you want to affect, select them, click on develop settings, paste them again. And if you then decide to change up some settings up here, maybe brighten it up again, you would have to do the same process over and over again.
Well, silly you. That's pretty time consuming.
So there's a way better option. So you just simply have to select all the batches of images you want to edit, hover up here, press Command on Mac or Control on your Windows, click on Auto Sync. And what this will do is, if you edit your hero image right here and change the exposure down, for example, the exposure will be updated for all of these 7 images. And if you will turn it up again, the exposure will be updated as well. If you change up your curves, for example, pull it down a little bit, everything's going to be changed here as well. It might just take some time to update, but it is way better than doing it over and over again with our first method with copy and pasting. And it will definitely save you a lot of time. Many people know that filters in Lightroom can help you brightening up or darkening parts of the images quite well, but there's actually a secret slider you haven't heard of yet. So for instance, we want to brighten up this part of the image right here, the waves we have down here. So most of you guys would just pull a mask over here, maybe pull out the highlights and pull out the shadows a little bit to get some details in back again, or even pull up the exposure a little bit. But the problem we have right here right now is, if I show you the mask, everything what is red is the effect that we did here being applied to the image. So the problem we have here is that we are also affecting this part of the image. But if we only want to lighten up or brighten up this part of the image here, the waves we have down here, you simply go down to range masks, click on luminance, and what we can do here is, I'm going to show you the luminance mask first. We have a range slider here, ranging down below from the blacks up into the whites. So what we have to do here in order to only apply this effect to the white waves we have is to pull the range slider up, and as you can see, we gradually only affect the waves we have down here. The filter is being shown in red, and if we pull down the luminance mask again, we will see that this effect is only being applied here. Let me show you this again. If we pull it down again, we're affecting every part of the image, but if we pull up our range slider and only affect this in the highlight part, we're gonna have way better results. It's also pretty useful if you want to add contrast to different parts of your image. If you want to have your Lightroom looking exactly as mine here, by default, you're gonna have it saying Lightroom right here. So if you go right click on this part of the image, click on Edit Identity Plate, it might take up some time, and yeah, in most cases it's gonna be like this. And if you go to Personalized, you can either use a graphical identity plate, that means you can add your logo to something, or you can use a stylized text identity plate and yeah, I don't know, maybe type in something funny here. Click on OK, and you'll have something funny standing there. And that's it, folks. I hope you could learn something new. And if you want to see more videos like these nuts, and wanna follow me on Instagram, maybe give me a follow, you can follow me right here. You can always slide in my DMs if you have any type of question regarding photo editing, videos, Instagram, and so on. And yeah, I hope to see you next time, guys. Stay tuned.